Salute YouTube family, salute Mel Knight Sports in the building. So, of course, the news we already know about Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury being the heavyweight champion, heavyweight boxing champion of the world, and Francis Ngannou being the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world as well. Heavyweight versus heavyweight. Um, Obviously, a very interesting matchup. Um, but I'm here to ask, does Francis really even stand a chance? We got to be real. We got to be real with with ourselves. Um, does he really even stand a chance now? Because at the end of the day, we all know the pattern. UFC fighters going into boxing, it rarely ends well for them. Um, we know boxing is a specific sport, obviously, and MMA is a specific sport. They're very different. If you think you're just going to go into one sport after, um, being brought up in the other one, you're going to be sadly mistaken. The vital differences are number one, keeping your hands down, while MMA fighters have to worry about kicks and whatnot. Um, Boxers need to consistently keep their hands up, right? And once you go to, and if you're used to keeping your hands down because you're defending kicks and all that stuff, you go to boxing and you keep your hands down, you're gonna get knocked out, right? So that's a key difference from going from MMA to boxing. Now, I don't really give Francis Ngannou a very good chance of winning and beating Tyson Fury in this fight. Just based on the fact that Tyson Fury is a very skilled boxer. He's a very skilled boxer, and I think it's going to be pretty easy for him to pick apart um, Francis Ngannou. Recently, there was a video surfacing around with Alex Pereira pretty much getting outclassed in boxing. They're just boxing, and looks like a very skilled boxer, and the skilled boxer is landing at will, and Pereira's head is getting snapped back. I mean, he's very susceptible to the jab. His hands are down. His hands are near his thighs. Near his thighs, right? He has that that kickboxing stance, um, and it just doesn't work in boxing. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. Your strengths in MMA and kickboxing are going to be your weaknesses in boxing, right? Um, your habits, they're going to be very very detrimental if you're going from MMA to boxing. Because again, in MMA and kickboxing, you're defending a lot more, right? So you have to worry about a lot more, and those become your habits, and that becomes your style. And I find I'm hard pressed to believe that Francis Ngannou is gonna come take his first boxing match against Tyson Fury. You know, um, one of the again, he's one of the elites. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, AJ, Usyk, right? The elite heavyweight. What's his name? What's the boy's name? Ruiz, right? Elite heavyweights, right? And he's going to go out there and face, one of the best ones, right? As far as skill goes. Yes, he has a puncher's chance, right? He has a puncher's chance. He could do it. I mean, I know he is one of the hardest hitters in combat sports in general, right? So he has a puncher's chance. It's possible, but I mean, it's 10 rounds. Um, will he be able to do it? I think it's highly unlikely, but it's a possibility. He has a puncher's chance, but the skill level is going to be extremely apparent. It's going to be extremely apparent, probably from the first. You're probably from the first round, really. Um, so I think it would have been a better idea uh, for Francis Ngannou to actually take a tune-up fight. Maybe fight a couple bums, just get acclimated in boxing, right? Sparring is different, right? I'm sure he's gonna be sparring with big dudes, right? I mean, that's all well, right? Also, the size difference, Francis Ngannou is 6'4", I believe, and Fury is 6'9". You know, the size difference is gonna be pretty apparent as well. I just don't think he has a, I just don't think he has a great chance. But again, he's making his money. This is his biggest payday. This is what he's been, you know, trying to get for many years with the UFC. And I'm happy that he's getting his payday. But I just have to question at what cost. At what cost? Because if he does lose to Tyson Fury and he gets knocked out, it's going to be very humiliating. But I suppose he has his money, right? So, you know, why am I worried about it? But I'm hard pressed to see him winning this fight. I think Tyson Fury just has too many tools as far as just pure boxing um, in his arsenal, and I think he's going to be able to pick him apart. He'll probably knock Francis. He'll probably stop him. That's my prediction. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Does Francis pose a real threat to Francis? Of course, we know the power he has. Francis has the power. That's all and well. But this guy is an MMA fighter, right? So, you know, people don't know. People really don't know how different it is. If you've done both, you would know, right? But let me know in the comments what you think. Hit that bell icon for more notifications. Like and subscribe for more content. Bell Night Sports. Peace.